What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to another episode of Kenneth Brown Fishing. I want to thank y'all for tuning in to check me out, to see my content, and just see what I got to say. And so please like, share, subscribe, and we're gonna get right into the video. I ain't gonna hold y'all long. And so this past week we fished at Shadow Lake at Roosevelt State Park in Martin, Mississippi. It's a 150-acre lake, and it's one thing about the lake, it is a hidden gem. It has some absolute beautiful water. The water looks healthy. It's some beautiful water. The lake is 150 acres. And it has some deep water, especially on one side. We call it the blue hole. It's the nickname that we call it. It's the blue hole. But you got an area that's about 30 feet deep, 25, 30 feet deep. And but overall, the lake is spectacular. So this past week, we fished there. I'm gonna tell y'all what we didn't catch fish on first. What we didn't catch fish on. Well, we fished a couple of spinner baits, and me and my buddy Randy and Rand Dizzle, and but we fished some spinner baits, and we didn't get anything, on a spinner bait. I had a couple of flash on the on my spinner bait, but they didn't take it. They just flashed at it. I don't know if I should have trimmed the skirt back or what. The wind was really, really high. It was blowing about 25, 30 miles per hour. On this lake, there's not really nowhere you can hide away from the wind. It has a few coves that you can go in, but they're not real big. But it don't really just have nowhere you can duck off just away from the wind. And so, we fished and didn't get any bite on that. We threw some rattle traps. Didn't get any bite on any rattle traps and inner spinner baits, but they did flash. So we got to scratching around, and so we decided to flip some baits. We done some beavers. We done a pit boss. If you don't know what a pit boss is, that is a pit boss. And so we flipped with some pit balls, and we started catching a few fish. There were no big fish, regular sized fish, and pound and a half, just your average little fish, and but nothing spectacular. So I went to the regular old Cinco. Now the Cinco, this is just your regular watermelon red Cinco. I got a lot of bites on this Cinco, but I just could not land those fish. And so I got to looking around at my rod, and it's all my fault. I'm using the wrong rod for this bait. This is not the right rod. This is a Lose Tournament. It's an all-purpose rod, but it's not for Cincos. It will not. If you buy one of these, do not put a Cinco on. Do not put a Cinco on it. It's gonna let you down. It's just the tip is just too soft, and it's only rated for 3/8 to 3/4. I never really looked at it when I got it. It just felt so good, and you know how you have a rod and you just say, "Yeah, I'm gonna fish that on this," and that's kind of how this went. I'm gonna fish a Cinco on it, but the actual action, it's not there. It will cast it, it feels good on it being fished, but it is not a Cinco rod. And this one here is, hang on, let me take this off. Let you look at it. See what it is. It's a beautiful rod now. And I'm not bashing the rod by no means. I'm just using it for the wrong thing. It is a St. Croix tournament, legend tournament. It's the new ones. It's the ones that just come out with. It's an excellent rod now. They excellent. I'm gonna buy some more, but these are not Cinco worthy. They're not. Not when you pitching a Cinco like in the cover and stuff like this. This a 7-1, medium heavy fast. It's just not. So you could throw spinner baits with it. You could throw little small swim baits with it. Underspin, something that's moving, you can throw with this rod and have success with it. But anything you want to kind of set the hook on it, kind of drive the hook, it just don't do a good job. You'll catch one here or there, but you're gonna lose just as many as you catch. It just will not drive those hooks home. Will not drive that hook home. So, but I did catch a few on this Cinco. I was getting bit on the Cinco, but they was all, smaller fish, that pound, 2-pound fish. That's what we was getting bit on. And so we kind of fished around there for a little bit and just kind of looked around. And so I decided, I said, we're going to try some crankbaits. Let's throw some crankbaits because those coves are deep. They're pretty deep coves. And when I say deep, I'm talking about they're 7, 8, 9, 10 feet, like that. Their coves are really nice. They don't have just just dirt shallow coves. They're decent coves to fish, crankbaits. So my crankbait of choice is this Rapala DT6. And the DT actually stands for dive 2. That's what it stands for, dive 2 6 feet. But I call it dinner time. That is my nickname for it. Because this bait right here gets totally whacked. No matter where I go. I mean, this bait here is chewed. No matter where I go, they will eat this bait right here. That is just the Rapala DT6. And you can get these here at Colin Feed and Seed in Brookhaven. You can stop by there. They got plenty of these in there. If you want to get it locally, or if you decide to order it, you can order them online or what have you. You can even get them at Bass Pro Shop. But if you don't want to drive to Bass Pro Shop, but you want to get you a couple of them, then go by Colin Feed and Seed. Tell them you're looking for the Rapala DT6. That is it's a balsa wood bait. It has absolutely no rattles in it. And it's semi-flat. It's not completely a flat side, but it's semi. But man. So, but anyway, this is the bait that we started catching those big fish on. Now, those big fish, we caught those fish in a multitude of different areas of the lake. Because we was going to try to figure out exactly where the fish are sitting up on. We was trying to figure out where they were sitting up on. And but we caught them in so many different areas. We caught them halfway in the cove. We caught them out on the main lake. We caught them all the way back in the cove. And so this is the bait I was using to catch some of mine, was this one. Now, my buddy Randy, now he was fishing also. He was fishing with me, and he was using opposite of what I was using. Total opposite. His had rattles. And he was just using a sexy shad square bill crankbait. Just a regular square bill crankbait. And they was absolutely mauling that crankbait. And he caught them in the same areas I caught them in. We both caught them. I caught him on that one. He caught him on this one. They was total opposite. That's kind of how we fish when we fish with each other. We don't fish the exact same bait. We fish different to kind of see, what the fish want. So, and he went square bill with a rattle. I'm fishing a coffin lip, no rattles, balsa. And but the crankbait he was using, it did float up because he was hitting that wood because they got a lot of tops and stuff in the lake. And he would hit that top and let that bait float up and bring that bait back across that top, and they would unload on it. If you saw some of the fish that we caught, they would unload on it. They was all good fish, real good fish. And so this was one of the baits that we used. I also caught them on a swim bait, on a Kitech, a little Kitech swim bait, easy shiner, little easy shiner, 4.5-inch easy shiner in the Tennessee shad color. You can go anywhere in the country and catch them on this here. That little bait right there. The reason I love this bait right here, this bait has secondary action. It don't just tail kick. You got some of these paddle tails don't do nothing but just tail kick, and that's it. That's all you got, tail kicking, and you fishing with it. This bait, head moves along with his tail. It don't have just a tail kick. That head moves. And let me tell you something. They came and they got this. I mean, they came searching. They got it. I mean, they ate it. I mean, they ate it up. And so that's just a Kitech in a Tennessee shad color, easy shiner. And man, this stays on my boat all the time. Anybody that knows me, anybody that ever fished with me know this is one of the bait that stays on my boat all the time. And just a side note, at Persequin in them lily pads, swim this in them lily pads. It'll come straight through there. Swim this right up under them lily pads in Persequin and hang on. They will molly this. If you get one of these and you get it to a 2-aught belly weighted swim bait hook, that's all I use, 2-aught, 3-aught, and little 1/8 ounce. You want to go light, 1/8 ounce. You put that on there, and I'm telling you, when you see it, when you're swimming, that head is going to be moving and that tail is going to be kicking. And I'm telling you, they will come get this. They will come get it. You don't have no problems. They going to come get it. Especially around any kind of grass, lily pads. This is what I'm using. I don't always use a chatterbait. This little bait right here, it don't have no sound. It can't alarm them. Nothing. It's just like just a shad just swimming through the water. And they would come unload on it. And that's what we caught them on also, was that. Well, I caught them on this. So after I caught them on this, my buddy Randy, being who he is, he came up with, now he actually caught the biggest fish of the day. The biggest fish of the day was about a 7-pounder. Now we caught this fish all the way back in the back of the cove that has the hotel in it. Where that hotel is out there, that cove. They have totally redone that cove. That's not what I remember years back when I fished it. I fished it before, but I never went over there because the first time I fished it, it was real shallow. And I just kind of washed it out and say that's just dirt over there. But they have dug that out. They have done something to that cove. It is, man, it is on fire. They have a lot of little piers and stuff they done built out there in the lake. Man, you roll this on under those piers. This here's the Big Daddy. That's what he called it, the Big Daddy. Now this is a big fluke. And only thing we do, he put this on a 6-aught, and it's heavy. It's got some weight to it. And just let it. And he threw that out there, and she unloaded on it. And He was actually fishing the wrong rod with it. He know, if he watched my video, he knows. He was had the wrong rod on there for this bait. Because when that fish hit, that rod let him know that was the wrong rod. But anyway, he landed the fish. It was a nice fish. It was a beautiful fish, big fish. And but she mollywopped it. So, we caught him on an array of baits. There's not one certain bait that I can say, hey, throw this, you gonna catch him. Because we caught him on an array of baits. I caught him on a moving swim bait. He caught him on a fluke style bait. I caught him on a silent coffin lip balsa wood crankbait. He caught him on a 1.5 square bill. Totally opposite of each other. But the thing about it, they was like chasing. They would chase baits down, but they wouldn't chase a spinnerbait. I don't understand. They flashed. They flashed on my spinnerbait. The spinnerbait I was using, I'm gonna show you, is this one here, which is by Demika at TOT. You can get this one up there at Colin Feed and Seed, and I'm not plugging Colin Feed and Seed, but if you're looking for it and you want to get one, they got them up there. You can get them up there, or you can order them, just whatever you want to do. And this is just in a 3/8 ounce. That's all I was using. And now, I did have a fluke on the back of it. I just tied a fluke on the back of it. I just put a fluke on it. And I should have, you see how long that skirt is? I should have trimmed that skirt up some. That skirt, I think, was just too big. And I should have trimmed it up some. But I put that fluke on there to give them something to hit. When they come in and suck that in, you don't have nothing but basically skirting and blades. But I want them to hit this. I want them to come get that hook and suck that in. Because when a bass bite, he sucks. He sucks it in. And when he get it in, you can set the hook on it. And so I really like this here setup here. I feel like I should have trimmed the skirts on it in hindsight. That's what I should have done. So, but like I say, they just flashed on it. I saw them come up. You know how the fish come up and turn away from it? They just flash on it. And I had a couple of them do that. But they just never would just commit to it. So I think they was tracking it. Something about it that they just wouldn't commit to it. I don't know what it was. I say it was the skirt. I should have trimmed the skirt back. Maybe they could have seen more of this fluke, and maybe they would have hit it. And sometime it could have been the color. I don't know. But the wind was blowing so hard. I wouldn't think, and the water is beautiful. The water is semi-clear. It's not super clear, but it's just beautiful, healthy looking water. And I would have thought that they would have hit it. So it was something about it that throwed them off. They only flashed on it. So, and but my swim bait, they actually committed to it. They didn't even hesitate. I mean, it was all out. Now, there's one area of the lake. Let me tell you something. When you launch your boat and you go all the way back there to the back, that area there is a good area, but that area there is hammered. I mean, it is every boat that came come up there, including us. That area is hammered. Don't even think about it. It's hammered. It is hammered up there. I don't know if it just got so much pressure on that area of the lake. They got we're going to call it a creek. They got a creek that comes in there, inside of there, and around that last point back there by that pier. And that's a good area. I caught a fish back there, 10-2 back there. And but I've caught several big fish back there. Fishing a jerk bait, fishing a rattle trap, various different baits. And it's just a hot area back there. But you can catch them all over the lake. Good, solid, clean looking fish. So that is the lake breakdown from Shadow Lake, Roosevelt State Park. I'm telling you, it is a hidden gem in Martin, Mississippi. And It's got plenty of camping. It's got camping sites all over the lake. I mean, they're all over. If you like camping, that's somewhere to go. And so if you're going to the lake, if you've never been to the lake, if you're going to the lake, right before you get to the lake, they do have it's a gas station there, and it's a McDonald's there. Just letting you know. If you've never been there, you don't know nothing about it, you decide, hey, I'm gonna go try that lake out. They do have a gas station right there. Once you exit off the interstate, say if you coming in from Pearl, coming from Brandon, from that way, when you exit off and you go back over the interstate, well, they got one, a gas station when you first exit off on your right-hand side. You will see it. But you can turn and go back over the interstate and go on toward the lake. Right before you turn to go to the lake, it's a gas station sitting over there. And they got a McDonald's over there. So just letting you guys know, just giving you a little information on it. That's all it is, just information. And about small water. That is what my channel is about, Mississippi Small Waters. You know, the water temperature was 62 degrees. I don't know if how much dropped, but from last week at the other lakes that I fished, I mean, you looking at, you know, they was 72 to 77 degrees, almost 80 degrees. This lake here was 62 degrees, but the water was, if you go, you will see what I'm talking about. The water is beautiful. And it may have been because of the water, you know, the reason it was 62 degrees, it wasn't super clear, but it wasn't stained either. It was just kind of medium. And now the dam is not deep. If you go down that dam, it's not deep. I'm going to let you know right now, it's not deep. And if you get down toward the end, it's going to get, you know, shallow in that 2-3 foot range down toward the end. If you launch and start on the dam, so if you fish on the dam, it's not that deep. And but it is some good fishing in there. It is some excellent fishing in there. Excellent, excellent, excellent. It gets an A+ from me. So if you want to go somewhere that's really, really nice, take the family, take the kids, and you want to fish and have a chance to, you know, catch you some good fish, Shadow Lake at Roosevelt State Park, Martin, Mississippi. So appreciate you guys. If you stayed to the end of the video, man, I appreciate it. You know, I'm just a guy here, you know, just trying to give you some information. This was something that, you know, I could never find. If I wanted information, I just had to go blind. You know, so I'm just trying to give information on the lakes, what we caught, what we use, water temperature, water clarity, anything got to do with the lake. Oh, one more thing. The boat ramp. When you get ready to launch, you're going to feel like a little hump in there. It's like a little hump. Don't worry, just going over the little hump. It's not big, but you're going to notice it when you bag your trailer down. You're going to notice your boat kind of go over a little hump. I don't know. They redid the boat ramp and all that. I don't know if that's dirt. They just got there that they didn't smooth off. I don't know what it is, but you're okay with it. You still can launch your boat. You're okay with it. So, and so I hope you catch a bunch of fish. I hope you catch a fish of a lifetime. I hope you catch a trophy. And I appreciate you, you know, watching. And just give me a like, a share, you know, comment, subscribe, you know, just whatever you want to do. If you comment, you know, I answer any questions I can answer if you have any. And I appreciate you guys for tuning in. Another episode of Kenneth Brown Fishing. Appreciate it, guys.